Have you ever felt that silence that comes just before a great storm?
10 April 1912, Southampton Harbor, and the world's largest, most magnificent ship. But imagine this, what if you were part of that crowd and already knew that 4 days later, all of this would be buried in the depths of the ocean? How would your soul tremble then? In my hand was a third-class ticket, worth the equivalent of $500. All around me, the smell of fresh paint, burning coal, and the salty ocean air mixed into atmosphere. The journey began with a strange kind of test. At boarding, an officer grabbed my hand and examined it closely.
This was not a welcome, it was a health inspection.
The line between rich and poor had already been drawn. The wealthy passengers were heading straight up, while people like us waited in queues for our turn. When I reached my cabin, G73, it felt like a completely different world. A small room, tight iron beds, and the strange glow of electric lights. Almost magical. For them, Titanic was not just a ship, but a hope for a better life. Someone promising them a job in Brooklyn, while someone else dreamed of farming in Minnesota. As the ship moved deeper into the ocean, the walls of class division grew even higher. One night, I secretly crossed the E-deck gate that separated us from the wealthy. Real wooden walls, golden carvings, and the famous grand staircase. It felt no less than a palace. 11-course meals were being served there.
The people were so arrogant that they believed humanity had conquered nature itself. But the truth was hidden outside the windows, in that dark, freezing ocean.
I tried to warn Cap Smith when he was leaving a dinner party. I told him there were icebergs ahead, and we should reduce our speed. He simply smiled faintly and said that he had received many warnings and that his officers were handling. That arrogance was Titanic's real enemy. The night of April 14. The sea was so calm it looked like a mirror. No waves, no moon in the sky. A light jolt was felt at the rear of the ship, as if we had brushed against something. Most passengers didn't even notice. Some were playing with pieces of ice on the deck as if they were gifts. When the captain ordered life jackets, it was still treated as a precaution.
There is nothing to worry about. The ship will not sink.
But when the first lifeboat was lowered, the scene became terrifying. It had a capacity of 65 people, but only 28 were on board. But people believed it was safer to stay on the massive iron giant than to sit in a small boat. The terrifying turning point came when the front of the ship began to tilt into the water. It's an iceberg. It's much closer than it should be. This is the moment everything changes. That's the iceberg! We hit it! Nobody here understands it yet, but history is changing right now. The ship everyone called unsinkable just struck an iceberg. Right now it feels like nothing happened, but beneath our feet, the ship is already dying. When the Titanic's final section rose toward the sky, the entire world fell silent.
And then came only silence and freezing waves. More than 1,500 people became history that night. Darkness is always the same, only the shores change.